Hello, hello. Welcome to the Mystic Path. This is your, excuse me, full moon in Gemini, December 8th, 2022 reading. As always, take the messages that fit, leave the rest, do not force it. This is a general reading for the collective, so not all the messages will be for you. If you are watching this at a different time that is not a full moon or December 8th, 2022, that is totally fine. Time is not a real thing. That's just a human thing. So the messages find you when you most need them. So just keep that in mind. Let's go ahead and get started. Today, I've already pulled a Moonology card. Okay, we'll also be pulling from the Spellcasting Oracle for the energy. We will probably pull a couple crystal cards, and we will definitely be using the Dreams of Gaia Tarot. We'll pull one of these cards, maybe not both, but definitely one of them, just so everyone knows. I know people like to know what the decks are. I also do when I used to watch readings all the time. And then also we'll clarify with the Dark Mansion Tarot. That seemed to be calling my name earlier. Okie dokie. I'm going to pull this table in just a little bit. All right. So, full moon in Gemini. It's an air sign. I'm going to use some Amanda Ellis air element. Breathe. Spray. Oh, it smells so good to get us in the air vibration. Okay. So, as we know, if you watch me a lot, I talk a lot about the, moons and the phases of the moons and all of that. So, as you know, if you watch this channel, full moons are usually for reflection and releasing whatever does not serve us moving forward, right? In our growth, in our productivity. This is the last full moon of 2022. The energy, Gemini has a very spontaneous energy. The energy may feel like busy and hectic and very sociable, lively energy. There may be a lot of coming and goings on around this full moon, which makes a lot of sense because here in the States, at least, we just finished a holiday and we've got a couple other holidays coming up, right? So it would make sense. This energy is going to be right in line. It's going to be a very busy time, very sociable, lively, fun about celebrations, right? This energy can also bring an intense desire to change on a whim, like with no planning. It makes me think of my dad used to do this all the time when we were little. My mother's parents lived in Virginia and we all lived in Illinois. And he would literally just come in and be like, pack a bag, pack up the car. We're driving to Virginia to surprise everyone for Christmas or Thanksgiving or whatever it is. Mother's Day. And that's Gemini. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. That's very Gemini energy. This like spur of the moment, not much planning, let's change things up on a dime kind of energy. But we want to be kind of careful of this energy because if you already have a tendency to have very little impulse control, like if you already do this a lot in your life, this could cause you to have some issues because this energy will provide you with an excuse to make like crazy zany decisions, right? So if you are already somebody who struggles with impulse control, who's trying to work on and practice getting better at that, you're going to want to be careful in this energy. And you might want to like take a step back a little bit and pause before you make any crazy decisions, before you make any zany, let's say zany decisions, right? I don't like using that word crazy. Gemini also, for the most part, is very logical and cool-headed, rational and detached. So that'll be okay, because if you are making impulsive decisions and you kind of get swept up in that energy, the good news is these decisions and impulses probably will not be based or driven by emotion, because Gemini is not a very emotional energy. It's very logical. It's very detached, rational, calm, cool-headed, right? So, also, I pulled a Gemini card, full moon in Gemini. It says, the answers you need are coming. Full moon in Gemini. The twins, right? I was just going to bring up the twins because Gemini, the twins, duality, okay? This inner Gemini energy reminds us that there is duality. We live in a three-dimensional planet that is mostly full of duality, right? And that's how we learn, by suffering and experiencing the contrast of the two, of the good, bad, happy, sad, evil, whatever, right? So this energy in Gemini will also remind us that there are two sides to every story, right? There are at least two options with every choice, because we live in a system and a world and a school, if you will, that is set up in duality, right? So this duality energy reminds us that there are two sides to every story. There are at least two choices, or two options, or two paths for every choice we're faced with. We should think twice, okay? Because by thinking twice and asking the right questions about our own motives, we can harness this spontaneous energy instead of it causing a bunch of adverse side effects in our life. It can cause a bunch, like I was saying earlier, if you're already somebody that has problems with impulse control, then this energy could cause you some adverse side effects in your life if you don't stay conscious, step back, and pause and think twice, right? Think twice. The good news is, because we've had a very intense year, right? With lots of eclipses, partial eclipses, biggest astrological things going on, super moons, blood moons. So the good news is, this is the last full moon of the year, and it is one of the least emotionally intense full moons we've had all year, because it's Gemini, right? Gemini's rational, logical, not super emotional. So this, because it's not going to be so emotionally intense, this is a very good time to share your feelings with somebody you trust. If you have something you want to share, I mean, don't just make something up or force yourself to share something you're not ready, right? But if you are ready and you have something you want to share with someone in your life, on any level, right? It's not always about love. I feel like everybody watches tarot readings and they think everything is about love, but it's not, right? We have other things. We have friendships. We have familial relationships. We have work relationships, career partnerships, etc. So this applies to all of that, right? So because I just feel like I kept saying, share your feelings, share your feelings. My guides were like, they're getting the impression that you're talking about love feelings. So it's not just love feelings, right? If there's something that's been on your chest or your heart, this would be a good time to share it with someone you trust, okay? That's the key there. Okay, we also may notice during this full moon in Gemini some shadow elements coming up, okay? Immaturity, flightiness, fickleness, insincerity, childishness. All of these things may come up. These are all shadow elements of the Gemini archetype. So, just keep these things in mind. So, because think about it, the very impulsive, spontaneous energy is a little bit childish, is a little bit immature, because it doesn't think things through. It doesn't think like, what are the consequences here? Or do I have responsibilities that I need to think about? Or should I make a safe plan, right? Doesn't think about any of those things. So that's a little immature. That's a little flighty. That's a little fickle. It's not, again, it's not good or bad. We don't need to assign or attach any kind of meaning to these things. These are just things humans go through and experience and need to work on and grow. And that's why we're here in the School of Earth, to learn mastery of our shadow elements, right? And everybody has them, and everybody's are different. Based on your own childhood experiences, programming, etc. Okay, so let's get into some cards here. So the answers you need are coming. The twins, full moon in Gemini. It's an air sign. What is going to be the energy for those watching? Whoa. Okay. Well-being. Good luck. And life purpose. Okay. Also, I just saw on the bottom of the deck, reconciliation. I've been told to take that as well. Okay. So, this is great. So, the answers you need are coming. And then we have life purpose, well-being, reconciliation, good luck. Okay. So the energy is going to be very supportive. Some of you are going to be finding your life purpose. Some of you are going to be growing, raising your vibration, really focusing on your well-being. And some of you are going to have some kind of reconciliation in your life. It could also be reconciliation with self, right? You could be beating yourself up about something, and you could have a come to Jesus with yourself. That's what I call them, come to Jesus talks. And you then forgive yourself, or let it go, or release, or recognize this pattern holds me back, whatever it is, right? So I'm going to let that go and reconcile with my own inner child. That's what I just heard, okay? But this also could be a reconciliation with somebody around you, right? Because we've already talked about this energy is very sociable, very lively. So maybe somebody's going to come back into your life that, like, you had a falling out with, or maybe somebody's going to come back into your life that you didn't have a falling out with. You guys just grew apart because you were on two different life paths, right? So there must be a lot of people going to watch this video because the energy, there's so many different facets here, but it's good because those of you watching, the answers are coming on these topics, right? Life purpose, well-being and healing, reconciliation and growth. The good luck energy, I think, is just there to, like, this is a good time for it. The universe is wishing you good luck and hoping it all works out, right? Okay, so let me take a little drink here. Let us get, this is the Dreams of Gaia Tarot deck. It's been calling very loudly since yesterday because it has messages. So just bear with me. I've been using it today, but it's been a little while since I've used it, and this deck is different, right? It has, like, instead of 10 cards in every suit, it has 12, and it calls its, like wisdom. That's the Hierophant, probably, or the High Priestess, right? So just bear with me. I will reference the book because it's been a while since I've used it, so I may not remember immediately what all the different names are in the traditional storytelling, right? So Spiritual team, if we could please get a storyline here for those watching. Let's find out, what's coming up around this full moon in Gemini for those watching. What will be happening? Can I get a past, present, future? These cards also are a little different, so they shuffle a little bit differently. The last reading I did, they flew right out, but sometimes it takes it a little bit because they're a little bit thinner. So they get stuck, which we get there. All right. Oh, look at this. 13. Card 13. So there's actually 13 in each suit. Queen of Fire, which I'm guessing Queen of Wands, pretty self-explanatory. Look at that. Oh, also what I'm noticing, it flew out right here. There's a cat, and there's a cat up here that says good luck, right? So Queen of Wands, right? Passionate energy. Seems like in touch with herself. Third eye's open. Alright, that's for the past energy of those watching. What's our present energy for those watching? Faith. Alright. Future energy. Okay. Bottom one. Healing. All right. Good job for those of you watching. This looks good so far, right? Okay, the answers are coming. We're gonna get some clarity on our life purpose, our well-being, health, and healing, and our relationships. I feel like this reconciliation card. Sorry. This card keeps falling. It's giving me. Okay. So, past energy, Queen of Wands, standing in the power, confidently, it seems like. We have two cats here, both looking right through me with deep green eyes. I feel like the past energy of those of you watching, solid, confident in our power, right? The energy we're presently in is we have faith. Amazing. I just heard faith in the possibilities. Faith in the possibilities of what the universe has to offer, of what is ahead of us. I just heard. So that probably is as a collective, what's ahead of us as a collective. And then the future energy is healing. I mean, come on. So this is good. And this full moon in Gemini is the least emotionally intense one we've had all year. So the good news is we've come through all of that emotional intensity now to be in this like great place. Confident in our power. We have faith that we're moving in the right direction. We have faith in our path forward. And we're looking forward to healing and growing and stepping fully into our magic. I just heard, right? I feel like some of you have had the call to step fully into your magic, and you have yet to do so. And that's okay, you know. We're all ready for it when we're ready for it. And what I mean by your own we all have our own magic, right? We all have things we're really good at, we're really talented at. We all have a connection to the universe. We all have a third eye and pineal gland that can bring in messages. The problem is we just all have not been taught how to use it. Okay? So, everybody's heard of the sixth sense, the intuition. Well, that is our own. We are all lucky that our soul has that. That's our individual guidance system. And if you tap into and connect to your intuition, that's your magic, right? And then whatever it is you're good at is going to be amplified. Whatever your strengths are will be amplified. Whatever your faults and weaknesses are will be less, because you'll have your intuition to lean into, and it will help guide you through your faults and failures so you grow and learn. Okay? So that's what I mean when I say tapping into our own magic. We're all unique and different, and we all have different talents, and we've all been programmed differently. We've all had different experiences. We've all learned different things, right? And so we are all unique individuals that have our own magic that we can give to the world, that we can imprint on the world. And, and sometimes that's just like, you don't have to do anything, right? You don't have to, sometimes tapping into your own magic just means being the best version of yourself and setting a good example for everyone else. And because what'll happen, and I just say this from experience, I've been on this journey a long time now, 15 plus years. And what I find is the more I grow and heal and clear my trauma, right? The more I'm in my own magic, the stronger it is, the stronger my intuition is, the clearer the messages are that come from the universe, the clearer and easier it is for me to read the energy of a room or the energy around me and the people around me, okay? And what I've found is the more because I've talked about on this channel before, I've had severe depression in the past. And that has been one of my shadow elements that I've had to work on overcoming in my life. And I think I have mastered it now. It's been quite a while since I've had any depression triggers or depression episodes. And that's because now I have the tools, right? I've gone to therapy. I've learned self-care. I've learned self-love. I lean into my intuition. I listen to what my intuition and my body and the messages tell me. And that helps me navigate life in a much smoother, easy way. And so then what happens is the people around you start noticing, right? The people around me knew what I was like when I was depressed, and my behaviors and my attitudes and everything, right? And so when they started seeing a shift in me, a lot of them would come to me and say, what are you doing? I don't understand. You're so different. You seem so happy. You seem, right? And so then I would say to them what I'm doing. I'm going to therapy. I'm doing shadow work. Blah, blah, blah. This. I'm working out. I'm going to yoga. All these things. I'm eating better. Whatever. And in turn, over time, the people around me also started growing and changing and doing their work and going to therapy and, exercising more, eating right. And again, I'm not saying I'm responsible for that. I'm not. I'm just saying part of my own magic was just being myself and growing and being who I am unapologetically. And then that in turn sparks that other people want to do the same, right? Because they see, wow, you just seem so happy. You just seem so peaceful. And so then I want to feel peaceful. I don't want to be depressed and have anxiety. And a lot of my friends experienced with me, a lot of depression, a lot of anxiety, right? So then when they would see me in situations that I used to be super anxious and then now I'm not, they'd be like, wait a minute, I want some of that, right? And so now, all these years later, a lot of the people in my life are also now in therapy. They also do shadow work. They do their best to learn the self-care tools, the unconditional love tools, the tools for coping with anxiety, depression, and things, right? And then what happens is your little tribe of people, be that your family, your friends, your relationships, will rise their vibrations will all rise together, right? Because they're unconsciously feeding off of each other. Like, ooh, I feel how happy you are, and I don't feel that way, but I want to feel that way, right? Does that make sense, what I'm saying? So this is what I feel like this full moon is going to be all about. It's going to be about taking everything we learned from all of the intensity this year, because there was a lot of intensity. And I just know for my own personal life, there was a lot of intensity. So, and just from looking at the news and paying attention to the collective, right? There's been a lot of intensity over the last several years, 3 to 5 probably years. And so now it's going to let up a little bit. We're going to get to integrate some of these lessons. We're going to start to get to practicing more these things we've learned, right? And that will raise us up. That will help us grow and transform and have more clarity on our life purpose, on our well-being, healing, and on our relationships. Okay? Ooh, this is a good energy feeling for a full moon. I like it. Okay, so yeah, I don't think it's funny. I was gonna clarify. Do I need to clarify? And I heard no, you've said it. Let's just see. I mean, these cards are all beautiful. The other thing I'm really noticing is there's a lot of animals throughout here. So I feel like a lot of us also are going to be connecting more deeply with our animal guides, because our animals are guides, people. I was watching this documentary the other day where they have proven now medically that a cat's purring, right, which is a sound vibration, can lower a human's blood pressure. Okay? So our animals that are drawn to us, that come to us, that we're attracted to, those are also our guides, and they can give us messages. Any of you that have watched this channel for a long time know we have Watson, the mystic cat. He comes up here all the time to lay on the cards, to rub on the cards, just to participate. And I can promise you, when he's here, the clarity of messages and the energy that comes in for me to read is crystal clear, right? And when he's not here, I still have my clarity and I still have my intuition, but sometimes I'm like, I might need to, give me a minute, right? I'll say, give me a minute, and I study the cards and I tap deeper in to kind of get clarity on what I'm feeling and hearing. But when he's here, I don't have to work as hard for it, right? Because our energy together creates a magic in itself. And he and I are very closely in tune with our intuition. I know. I can sense him when he enters a room. I can sense when he's not with me and he needs something. Like the other night, I was in the bedroom and I just instantly felt I had to get up and go check on him. Right? And so that's what I'm talking about. He was calling me because he wanted fresh water, but he was not going to come and get me. He just telepathied me kind of in the other room. And so when I came in the kitchen, he's standing there by the water bowl and he just looked at me took you long enough. Right? So if you take the time to really tap into your own intuition And then when you're with your animals, you are in that vibration of being open. The connection will amaze you. The things you will feel, and you will start to almost have like an empathetic connection with your animal. So there's a lot of animals in these cards. We have 2 cats, and cats in themselves, very magical. I mean, just look at how the Egyptians treated them. That in itself. Do some research on that if you don't know. Cats were like goddesses to them. And anyway, and there's also a couple of frogs here. We have this card where she's like riding a turtle in the universe with like all this nature around her. A wolf, a crane, angel wings, a tree. I mean, yeah. So, oh, there's also peacock feathers over here and snakes. All right. So I'm also getting that this full moon is going to further open us up to the fact that animals are healers as well. They are also guides. It is not an accident that you found your pet and your pet found you. Okay? That's what I just heard. All right, let's see. Any crystals that will be helpful during this full moon in Gemini? Any crystals that will help this full moon in Gemini for those watching? Woo! For you guys watching, this is a good reading. The last reading I filmed was a little bit heavy and intense. This energy is like, wow, I like it. Good. In our power. This is it. Okay. Morganite. Fill yourself. Nurture yourself. Okay, Morganite. I don't have any here to show you, but I did just buy some Morganite beads. They're in with my beads for bracelets. Cool. Okay, so Morganite. And then, yeah, okay. I was just asking healing or goddess card, and they say healing. All right, for everyone watching, where could we focus? For those watching, where can they focus their healing? Where can they focus for their healing? Okay, so this card, it says, oh, guardian, and then meditation and release. These are the cards. Forward movement. All right, so this is what okay, funny, I was just sliding them over, and one of my guides was like, that's not the right order. Okay. So, and funnily enough, the order they had me put them in is numerically 3, 5, 44, 45. Okay? But this is why. Because the cards are meditation, release, guardian, forward movement. Okay? So this is the where to focus your attention for all of this. Meditate, which will help you release anything blocking you, which will lead you to deeper connections with your guardians, which helps you move forward in growth. Boom. Okay, so we're going to leave it there. The message here is clear. Get some Morganite around this full moon in Gemini. Focus on your meditation practice. If you don't do it, start to try to learn it. There's lots of different forms of meditation. So, because I just heard somebody say, like, I can't sit quietly. Okay, there's lots of different forms. That's why you need to research it. And then earlier I was talking about finding our own specific magic. right? When you research and try out all these different forms of meditation, you'll find the one that most fits and resonates with you. And then that is part of your toolbox for your magic, right? So like I meditate the traditional way because I enjoy it, but it took me years and years of practice to enjoy it. Let me say that first. So in those years, while I was practicing and having trouble quieting my mind, right, and connecting in a traditional way, I would garden, because gardening is another one of my tools and my magic. And so gardening is a form of meditation, right? Painting is a form of meditation. So there are lots of different ways you can meditate. And this is basically just saying, research it, find the path and the thing that works most for you, because then when you find that, you can practice it. And once you get really practice at it, then you really start getting good at releasing the things that hold you back, the things that block you, the things that keep you stuck. And then once you can start doing that, that's when your connection with your guides and your intuition like gets off the chain, right? And then you have all these wonderful butterflies that come and pull you forward with rainbow ribbons, because you were healing and releasing your trauma, and so now you're so light the butterflies can carry you. Wow, that was an interesting channel. Beautiful. Okay, we're gonna leave it there. There's that, because these clear as day, these messages have come through. So please like, share, and subscribe. Comment below if it resonates. I always like to hear if it does. Also, if you hit the like button, that helps you donate your energy to our little tribe here. And then when I'm reading, more messages for you specifically will come in, because your energy, you've put your energy in the channel. Okay? So we're going to leave it there. Namaste.